supposed to be Manchester United's golden boy. The missing piece, the one who would bring the magic back to Old Trafford. But just 2 years later, he's been exiled, forgotten, and publicly called out by his own manager.
I love scoring goals. That was my main thing. Loved it.
This is the story of Jadon Sancho, the player Erik Ten Hag gave up on. Jadon Malik. Sancho was never ordinary. At just 17, he walked away from Manchester City's academy, a bold move few players ever dare to make. He wanted minutes, not promises, and in Germany he found them. At Borussia Dortmund, Sancho became electric. He wasn't just good, he was spectacular. Assists, goals, flair. The confidence of a superstar who knew the spotlight belonged to him. By 2020, Sancho was one of Europe's most valuable players. Manchester United fans begged for him, and after years of rumors, the dream transfer finally happened. The England winger had not long turned 20, and after registering 17 goals and 16 assists for Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga, he was considered one of the game's most exciting young talents. He chose Manchester United, but they had to wait until the following year to complete the deal after wrongly taking Dortmund's deadline to complete a deal as a negotiating tactic. Eventually, though, United got their man for a fee of £73 million in July 2021, with Sancho calling it a dream come true.
Yeah, it's a honour, really. Growing up, Manchester was one of the biggest clubs that, that was known for, and obviously all the trophies they've won. And that's the iconic players that come before me, so yeah, I'm happy to be wearing this jersey now. Yeah, definitely, that's one of reasons why I came to Manchester, because I can see the development that's going on here, and I want to be a part of it, and especially because it's such an iconic club, and to be a part of it is just kind of a dream come true. So yeah, I'm sure my family will be proud of me to making this big step.
And there was an expectation that the former Manchester City academy player would take the Premier League by storm. 4 years and 2 loan spells later, Sancho's career is at a crossroads, with Chelsea willing to pay United £5 million not to sign him permanently. Sancho's first season was underwhelming, but fans stayed patient. Give him time, they said. Entering his 3rd season back in England, expectations for Sancho had already dropped significantly. United had signed him to play on the right wing, despite his preference being to play on the left, a position that was locked down by Marcus Rashford at that point. And his underwhelming performances meant he was no longer a guaranteed starter.
And Marcus Rashford came here on loan last season and did really well. Did you manage to speak to him about the move at all?
I know, I spoke to him while he was here last year, and he really enjoyed it. He said so many lovely things about the club, how it's family. You feel that friendly environment, and just great players and great staff all around the building. So I definitely felt that as I came in.
But when the London-born forward was left out of the squad for a loss at Arsenal in September 2023, Ten Hag was asked about his absence after the game. Because of his performance in training, we didn't select him, the Dutchman said bluntly. You have to reach a level every day at Manchester United. Sancho did not accept the reasoning, and in a now-deleted social media post, hit back almost immediately. I will not allow people to say things that are completely untrue, he posted. I have conducted myself very well in training this week. I believe there are other reasons for this matter that I won't go into. I've been a scapegoat for a long time, which isn't fair. A standoff ensued with Ten Hag, who had previously questioned Sancho's fitness state, demanding an apology and despite numerous pleas from teammates and United officials, Sancho refusing to provide one. Sancho's steadfast refusal to apologize to Ten Hag led to him being frozen out at United, and it was little surprise when he left the club, albeit only on loan, in January 2024. A return to Dortmund for the second half gave the winger the chance to rediscover his best form and rehabilitate his reputation in a familiar environment. "It felt like coming home," he said of being back in the Dortmund dressing room. Without ever reaching the levels of his first stint, Sancho certainly looked more comfortable as he helped the Bundesliga side reach the Champions League final, where they were beaten by Real Madrid. 3 goals and 3 assists in 21 games might not be the most eye-catching of statistics, but given he had not played for a number of months prior to the switch, it was no surprise that it took him a bit of time to get back up to speed. Former Tottenham and Germany striker Jurgen Klinsmann said he had a rough time finding his rhythm again and settling back again. But by the final games of the season, he was looking good and looking sharp. But the finances involved meant a permanent return to Signal Iduna Park was always highly unlikely, so back to Manchester he went. With Ten Hag still in charge at Old Trafford last summer, there was little prospect of Sancho sticking around, and he joined Chelsea on loan on the 31st of August. As part of the deal, the Blues agreed to an obligation to buy Sancho for a fee of around £25 million if they were to finish higher than 14th in the Premier League, or pay a £5 million clause to get out of the deal. Chelsea did not pay a loan fee for the player and covered just half of his reported £300,000 a week wages. Sancho finished the season well and scored in the final, as Chelsea beat Real Betis to win the UEFA Conference League.
Last season at Chelsea, you won the Europa Conference League. Are you targeting more silverware during your time here?
Yeah, definitely. As a player, but especially as a team, we have to be achieving big things, and we have to be looking towards that. And hopefully, I can help the team to achieve some of those goals.
However, it was a mixed campaign overall, and he ended it with 5 goals and 10 assists in 42 games. As such, the Stamford Bridge side have chosen to £5 million to avoid signing him. His wages rather than the £25 million fee believed to be the primary reason. And Sancho is on his way back to United again. What comes next remains to be seen, but should the 25-year-old find himself on the move again, his options are likely to be rather different to 5 years ago. Rashford, Sancho, Pogba, different players, same story. Why does Manchester United keep breaking their stars? Subscribe for more football stories that hit deeper.